smell it? Because I don't think most people can smell what The Rock is cooking. Yo, The Rock came back. I was like, had a little Wayne New One remix with the song, but he came back, did a lot of hoopla, talking about not the Super Bowl, but WrestleMania is going to be here, which is crazy that they're going to have big time things back to back. And then then he started turning from The Rock to the final boss and started being like, yes, TT crackheads and all this other stuff. Which, it's always funny. It's always a pop, especially when the crowd is like with it. That what makes it a little bit more funny than when they're not. I was like, that you don't expect it, but the fact that it's like they don't even fight it. They're like, yeah, he did the thing. But let's get to the whole thing with Cody. He bring Cody out here. I was like, he sounded like Charles Barkley because he repeated himself 6 times in order to get some point across of basically that we're cool, we're friends, we see eye to eye, everything good. I was like, even though you disrespected me, that earned my respect, that showed me you could be the top guy in his company and all this other stuff. And then we got towards the end and he basically was like, hey, I don't want your title, I want your soul. And that right there is kind of crazy. You want the man's soul? Now, I already know everybody's going to have the jokes about how you take a man's soul. But here, it's still kind of wild. I'm not going to lie. I was like, basically, that it's like, oh. But then again, when you think about it, I was like, we done seen enough movies, video games. I feel like, hell, I was like, I think a lot of people that work should understand what this means. Like, he wants him. He wants you to be, when he said, I want you to be my champion, I want your soul, he's saying, I want you to be mine. He should have did this a couple weeks ago during Valentine's Day, and I think it would have hit a little different. But I was like, but at the same time, I think we might finally get The Rock in the way that I think, in the final boss, in the way that we sort of, I at least from my end, I sort of have been wanting. Like, I didn't necessarily need Rock Cody as a match. Would I be here for it? Yeah, that's gonna be fun as hell, or whatever. But I was never here necessarily for that. He talked about how basically Rock is a part of TKO and TKO WWE. So technically, like, yes, he's the final boss, but he's like I rule things here. And that's why when I was like Triple H was like, oh, they're gonna be a shakeup and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, but I didn't think it was gonna be on the level of basically what everybody thought it was talking about. Are you gonna come in here and mess up WrestleMania plans or whatever? I don't think that's gonna necessarily be the case. To that, I think that this is finally, in some form, going to be not a total, but a heel turn of sorts for Cody. I think this is going to basically be some form of an authority thing. Now, at first, I was like, Cody's going to have to go to Elimination Chamber and give him his answer. And to be honest, I think Cody's going to fight back, of course, because he's like basically like nobody owns me, my own man. I understand that. I was like, I got to do stuff part of the company, but that does not mean that you can have me take me over. And so, cool. It's like, I think Rock would be like, oh, cool, all right, I respect that and stuff like that. And then, maybe from there, that's where we basically maybe see that's like, oh, how did these bloodline people come? I like the thing that with like Solo and Jacob and all that other stuff that basically everybody was talking about at the very beginning and we never got it. We just seemed to be like, oh, okay, they could still plug that in. That basically, how did Solo get to Ulafala? We never found that out. I was like, where did Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu come from? We don't know. But they're here, and they're just back in Solo without any type of doubt of Solo at all, to the point where we see like how it is now, and it's like in the way that they're sort of just being like looking sideways at Solo, they were never there because they was probably different orders. So I think now we're just going to basically get The Rock being like, all right, cool, because I was like, the whole point is basically like, I accepted you, you come to our family, and all this other thing. And I was like, that could be one way. Where it's just like, we find out he's the mastermind behind this. He's basically going to beat Cody's ass down to the point that Cody's going to give in. Cause I'm like, look, Cody's going to say no right off bat. That is who Cody is. He's not gonna be like, he's not gonna officially give in. This ain't gonna be nothing like that, or like with some Stone Cold Vince McMahon thing where he finally accepted to the dark side. No. Cody's gonna fight back at first. But I was like, or he just like, okay, maybe he don't do the Fatu thing and stuff like. He's like, okay, all right. And then he just starts making his life as hell. He starts changing his matches where there's all of a sudden Cody's in a regular match. No. You in a hardcore match. Then leave. No. You're in a cage match. Just basically wearing him down with every opponent he sort of gets. I was like, he could do that. I was like, or what I sort of like is I think he should go the Teen Titans route. When Robin basically went underneath Slade and basically just sort of just turned into a menace. I think that's the route that they should go. I was like Slade is the Rock. I was like always was giving Cody problems. I was like, we ain't got the longevity, but you get what I'm saying. I was like of it, and then eventually I was like, he put Cody in the bind. I was like, he put Robin in the bind where Robin had to go under. I was like, basically join Slade and do all the biddings of Slade. He could do the same thing with Cody. I don't know what he will hold on him, over him or whatever. Maybe they sort of bring up whatever that thing that they sort of handed each other a year ago. Maybe that get brought up. Maybe they got some significance in a way or whatnot. But he basically, I was like, or the fact that it's kind of like, I was like, really, Kevin Owens really the only friend he's had that sort of turned on him. But basically, maybe he just had it where it's just like, oh, that's why his friend turned on him. Why has it been happening? Because of The Rock or whatever like that. He's like, Cody, I can have this all stop if you become my champion. And then Cody starts being underneath Rock's wing or doing some heelish stuff. And we don't get necessarily the full on, I was like Cody heel turn, because I was like everybody was wanting that, and I was like, and I get it, and it's like I even talked about it, but I was like, that got to be something that's been built up for a while. I was like, so it's like this could be the thing that basically leads into it, like Cody started liking her, Cody to start building so much animosity amongst everybody else that everybody looks at Cody now sideways, that Cody just been accepting and becoming a heel or something or whatever, his slow dissension. I was like, I was like, the way he started politicking and stuff like that has already been sort of brought to light through like McIntyre and Kevin Owens and stuff like that, that hey, now it's actually done underneath The Rock. Change how you sort of look at it when you see the politicking. It's not, I was like, it's not necessarily for the good of, yeah, Cody gets something out of it, but for the people. I was like, when it starts being for other means, that's when you start being like, oh, get these politic people out of here. So I was like, that's the way I was like, I sort of like my the entire one. I was like, but I could understand also tying in the whole Take Off Fatu thing as well, because I was like, we never plugged in any of those holes, and The Rock could easily do that with one fell swoop. We could easily plug that in. So I was like, I think eventually he will succumb to basically whatever the soul snatching that The Rock is going to do. I was like, an offer he can't refuse or whatever. But I was like, at Elimination Chamber, he's going to say no. He's going to say no. I was like, and that'll be within the review, or we'll see. I was like, I don't know if The Rock is going to show back up. That's the sort of the thing until Elimination Chamber. Yeah, why would he do that? Why would he show up before Elimination Chamber? That's dumb. Anyway, and we'll see whatever that segment is. All right, I was like the SmackDown thing, because I was like, I don't have a big video basically to say what The Rock is going to do, or whatever like that. I was like, maybe there's probably already some people that already got their stuff. I was going to say, I was like, Drew versus Jimmy. I was like, Drew always falling for them damn roll-ups, and I was like, by the Usos all the time, but it didn't matter. He beat the hell out of Jimmy afterwards because he's going to the chamber. Tiffany and Candace had a match when Charlotte came out, and I was like, they beating up Tiffany. Well, not Charlotte, but I was like, Candace and Nia beating up Tiffany. Trish tried to help. Nia squashes them both. I was like, and then Charlotte just sort of stepped by her, and it's just kind of like, and I was like, I think this is, I was like, not the match, but I was like, the Charlotte thing, they're going to have to figure out something with that, because there's been no build, but that's because I was like, they picked them so early. That's a problem. I was like, we had DIY versus Pretty Deadly. It actually seemed like it was about to be a cool match. Kind of like Deadly was actually sort of being aggressive, and then DIY started taking charge. Then Street Profits are basically like, no, we ruined it for everybody. And I was like, yo, Street Profits, they're gonna get them titles at WrestleMania. I was like, they're gonna. I was like, or whatever the SmackDown before, whatever you want to say. Um, I was like, Chelsea Green is going to have a match the Friday before Elimination Chamber against somebody. And I was like, I already can hear the people. I was like, I'll get to the other one. But people like, see, this is what we're talking about. Why they're not an Elimination Chamber or whatever. But even though they're still in Toronto, so it's still fine. She probably will be the main feature of that because I was like, Cody and Rock going to be on the next show. Liv and Raquel just beat the hell out of Naomi and Bianca, and I can already hear people being mad about that because they sort of was. And it's like, but that's the angle. Why? And it's like, I was like, they're having a match on Monday, so what does it matter or whatever? Which I would give the titles to them, but I know that's not what they're gonna do. And they did what I thought they were gonna do. Melo don't Miz. Carmelo Hayes, Miz, R-Truth versus Louisiana Knight, which was so stupid. I swear R-Truth is funny as hell, especially when he goes off screen and he's like, say it. I was like, Miz is saying the Melo, say it, and then R-Truth pops in like, he wants you to say awesome, and then pop back out. Stupid. But Melo don't miss. And I actually think that this is, unlike some of the other Miz pairings that sometimes he'll have with younger talent, I actually think that this is something that can work. I was like, cause I think Carmelo is, because I was like, he's different than when he had like Ciampa. He's different than when he had Bronson Reed. It's because like people knew who both of those people were, but those people weren't doing anything really to that moment or whatever. Did Ciampa have like an Intercontinental Championship by then? Title shot? He might have, but it might have been afterwards. Well, like, but they weren't somebody that like people knew on a regular basis coming up from NXT in that same way as like Carmelo done had this whole year, and why he hadn't been winning, and he sort of, I was like, his stuff has been up and down. I was like, he got different charisma than both of them. That he could do the talking like the Miz or whatever. He's flashy in a way that's sort of like the Miz. Like they sort of work really well in a way that I was like, I seen them and I was like, it's, while it sucks, I was like, if they get into the tag team scene, I'll be totally fine getting them getting tag team titles and stuff like that. I think that while we tried to do that with Jade, and I think that's a different way that it works. I do think that it works for putting in younger talent and helping them out, getting established and stuff like that. And I was like I said, their chemistry really works pretty good. I will say that I already seen that if it wasn't, I think if it wasn't for Melo and LA Knight, that people were, I was like, and what they probably are, being like, see, this could have been replaced by a women's match. And it's like, it could have, but I was like, they're trying to establish Melo get some wins. And I was like, if that comes, I was like, if that's what happens, then I was like, cool, I was like, I understand that. If Melo just start losing and it's just like some R-Truth, and I was like, yeah, I was like, just have him in backstage segments if you're going to do things like that or whatever. And the Solo and Jacob Fatu, like I said when I was talking about The Rock, I was like, they looking at him sideways, kind of basically he's showing weakness. And Fatu kicked Solo, and I was like, he shouldn't really react anyway because I was like, it's Fatu, but he didn't really react. In his match with Braun Strowman and Damien Priest, and they beat Solo. And we'll see how that goes, of them blaming Solo for the loss, even though he got kicked in the face. But they're not giving any play to Solo. Tom Tonga's like, why you touching me, bro? I was like, we ain't like that no more. I don't want your word on customer. You say I love you. What that mean? I don't mean what I mean when I say to you what I mean. No. Nah, he all gas, no brakes. Yeah, that I mean. Anyway, I was like a little about it. I still like this Melo Miz thing. I was like, The Rock coming back. Maybe there'll be more stuff to talk about. Until then, peace. I'm out.